Here we go now.
Curve TV brings you the different sides and faces of the industry like never before. Fresh, inspiring, unintimidating. So join us for an hour of talk and more. Let's get ahead of the curve. Partners, Panasonic Life Solutions is back for a limited Bold Talks engagement. Let's call in Panasonic Life Solutions General Manager and Country Head Yosuke Tanaka to tell us more about this. Good evening, Sir Tanaka.
Good evening. Nice
Hi,
to see
sir.
you
How are
again.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining the show. I know you're at home and you
Mm.
guys have been still working hard despite the almost 2 years in this pandemic. And I know you guys have already adjusted. So
Mhm.
we just want to learn from you, Mr. Tanaka, what is the latest with Panasonic Life Solutions Group?
Yeah. I think this is like last time we joined this event is
Mm-hmm.
1 year ago,
Mm-hmm.
approximately. And well, of course, we had several difficulties, even um, when it comes to this year. Still,
Mm-hmm.
pandemic effect is critical for our business. But on the
Right.
other hand, Within this 1 year, we have launched several new products, and as for this few months, market itself is
Mhm.
gradually recovering, and our business is getting better with
Mhm.
our new product as well.
Mhm.
So,
Mr. Naranka, sorry, can you bring your mic closer to you so that people can hear it clear? There you go.
am I clear now?
Yes, loud and
Okay,
clear.
okay. So yeah, it is. Our business is also getting better.
Mhm. That's good. And you guys have pivoted already and adjusted to how, quarantine protocols are. We know it's been crazy the past months. How are the employees doing with that?
Yes, basically, we are still not 100% going back
Mhm.
to the office,
Mhm.
but compared to last year, despite that, there was several times that we could not uh, go back to the office because of
Mhm.
the ECQ situation. But
Right.
right now, still at the skeletal, but we're gradually going back to the office for,
Mhm.
and we can meet and have gathering together in the
Mhm.
office gradually.
Right.
So overall, I think we're doing good.
And sir, I mean, you've had some hybrid presentations and events also in the past years, right?
Mhm.
You've been doing webinars at the same
Yeah.
time, presentation and product launches
Hmm.
in your office, and you invite people via online to attend
Yes.
these events. And I think it's really another successful event for Panasonic as well. So,
Mm.
what gives Panasonic now the competitive advantage given the new set of circumstances and market limitations?
Mm. Yeah. For the online activities,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, before the pandemic, we're as we're in the constructions market, most of our activity is mostly face to face, going to the
Mm-hmm.
customers, going to the sites. But because of the situation, we could not do that. So we really quickly adapted to the online
Mm-hmm.
activity, and we have done over 100 web seminar last year,
Wow.
and I think more than 3,000 attendees attended our web seminar
Mm-hmm.
totally. So I think these activity was successful, and even after the pandemic, I think these online activity will remain the hybrid with face to face
Yes.
and online. And despite of these situations, as I have said, we have launched several new product, and not only that we launch just a new product, but more product that will adapt to the new normal that we
Yes.
will be facing in the near future. So more of antivirus, energy
Mm-hmm.
savings, safety at your home. Those categories we really focused to launch a new
Yeah.
product. Mm.
And that's the nice thing about Panasonic because you were very responsive when it comes to those products that are very relevant during this day and age. And the reason why you're also here in the show, sir, is because I'd like you to please share us the good news. What have you planned for our partners here at Curve TV starting next week?
Okay. Um, we only provide good news,
Mm-hmm.
so don't worry for that. We are not preparing any bad news.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but as I said, the policy of Panasonic from the foundation of 100 years ago, the one of the big policy of Panasonic is contribution to the society.
Mm-hmm.
So um, even in any time, um, even in the good time, bad time, our common policy is contribution to society. So right now, as you know, not only in the Philippines, as globally, we're suffered from the pandemic. So pandemic is not only that you are worried about infection, but from these restrictions, there's so many things that it is difficult to do.
Mhm.
For example, like if you have to stay at home, so the electricity at your home will become higher,
Right.
or of course the infection whenever you go out or even you're at house, you're afraid of infection. So what's the solution of not, you know to prevent those infections, so on. And yes, no, from these problems, from now on in your show, we will
Mhm.
provide several products that will be helping those people who is suffering from the pandemic. And yeah, I hope that each and every product that we show will be connecting to everybody's better life.
Right. And we are so excited to hear more of that the coming weeks. That's why,
Mhm.
guys, mga parts, always remember that, Panasonic is here to provide us with their life solutions, especially now during the pandemic. And you will hear more about that in our next shows. But before I let you go, Sir Tanaka, given that Panasonic believes, that we all deserve a better life, a better world, how are we sure that we'll always win as the industry changes?
Mm. Yeah, as I said, that we all have, even not in the Philippines, worldwide, we're suffering right now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're recovering right now from
Right.
the situation. Comparing last year, maybe we had less smiles. This year, maybe we are thinking of upcoming Christmas. Last year, it was
Mm-hmm.
not like that, right? So I think better life as a better world is, something that, it's not comes naturally, but I think we're the one who have to make it like that. And as a Panasonic, as I said, what we can do is to provide our product to realize those things. And from the heart, as a total Panasonic, not only my product, but other department product like appliances, aircon, any product. All of the product is connected to the better life, better world. So it is quite difficult for me to explain in this short time.
Yes.
So it will be explained in the onward shows. But if any thing that is interest, know you can visit our SNS website. All the product is there already.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can find those things anywhere in Panasonic.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuke Tanaka, Panasonic Life Solutions General Manager and Country Head. Partners, beginning next week, learn more insights and product updates with the rest of Panasonic Life Solutions team and get a chance to win Panasonic gift items as well. Sir Tanaka, thank you again for supporting Curve TV. All the best for you guys and more power to Panasonic. Partners, don't go away. Curve TV Season 3 will be right back.
You're mine, always you're mine, forever you're my reality. You're my sunshine, you're my best times, you're my anomaly. And I'd choose you in 100 lifetimes. I choose you. I choose you.
Panasonic.
Parts, welcome back to Curve TV Season 3. Moving on, we are now joined by three Boulder women, all multi hyphenated architects in terms of career and other passions. They are an architect, model, entrepreneur, even athletes. So let's join them here in the show. We have Trish Molina, architect and former beauty queen Clarice Villareal, and architect, sports person, entrepreneur Jessey De Leon. Good evening, girls.
Good
Hi.
evening, Architect Pat. Good evening,
Hi,
Hi.
Jessie.
evening.
Hello.
Hi, good
Wow.
evening.
Thank you very much for joining the show tonight. I'm so excited. Girl power. But first of all, I'm sure yung mga iba kong kakilala, they're looking forward to this episode tonight because again, women empowerment. I think that will be the theme of our show. But at the same time, it's amazing how you guys are able to balance all your careers, right? Again, let's talk more about it later on. But first of all, how are you, Trish? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I think I've adjusted with the pandemic situation already, living in the new
Mhm.
normal.
Okay. What about you, Clarice?
Same as Trish, actually, there are a lot of changes talaga recently, no? Even it started last year, as you all know.
Mm-hmm.
Pero most of us naman, I think, have adapted to all the changes
Right.
na. And with also with other professions, it has been very
Mm-hmm.
hard. But, as humans talaga, we have to really adapt to it.
Right. That's true. No, we have no choice, eh, 'di ba? But to
Yeah.
adapt to whatever is
Mm.
happening. Jesse, what about you?
Actually, it's the same with Clarice and Trish. I have
Mm-hmm.
already adjusted to the new normal. I think before it was really hard. Nung height ng pandemic, it was really hard for us, not only like um physically but also mentally since wala ring volleyball nun. So yeah, it was hard at
Mm-hmm.
first, but right now I've been adjusting also. So
That's
I'm
good.
good
I
now.
mean, that later on we'll get into the other your other
Mm.
life, no. But first, let's start first with our the same thing with four of us. We're all architects here. I want to know what is the most challenging part right now with you being an architect. I mean, yes, you've adjusted already with maybe how your lifestyle is. We're so used to always wearing our mask, and not
Yeah.
seeing our friends normally. But in terms of our profession as architects, what is the most challenging part right now? Maybe let's start with Trish.
Um, well, for me, I guess the most challenging part as architects is adapting to the post-pandemic situation or the
Mm-hmm.
so-called new normal. Of course,
Yes.
as architects, duty natin to integrate design solutions or new design concepts and if not new, at least refined or improved solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And we should integrate those to our designs. Like they should not be mere afterthoughts. So I think that's the most challenging part right now. But it's exciting for me as well, since
Mm-hmm.
like in my case, I'm very eager to see how clients like positively respond to these design shifts and
Mm-hmm.
how they respond to these new design concepts being introduced to them.
Right, and that's good that you mentioned that, Trish. Jesse,
Yeah.
with what Trish said, we are doing a lot of adjustments, right, in terms of space
Mm.
planning, providing different areas, and at the same time, there are some designs that we wanted to introduce before that some clients
Mm.
aren't really
Yeah.
open to that yet, especially providing more open air outdoor areas, right?
Yeah.
Sa'yo ba,
Right.
Jesse, did this pandemic have an impact when it comes to your design now?
Well, like what Trish told you rin, nagkaroon siya ng big impact because it has a lot of considerations right now compared to before, like you have a
Mm-hmm.
certain considerations lang, 'di ba? But right now,
Mm.
people became more health conscious, and so yun yung mga naging impact niya with my design. So, yun
Mm-hmm.
nga, like alfresco, mayroon na siyang more of outdoor spaces, and then as much as possible, talaga very important na ngayon yung natural ventilation, and yung may spaces pa rin na kailangan may transition spaces most of the time, 'di ba? So
Right.
before kasi like very
Exactly.
direct eh. Ngayon parang you have to consider that there should be a transition.
That's right. And aside from transitional areas, meron rin multifunctional areas.
Yeah,
'Di ba? Like one
Correct.
space can be
correct.
two or three
Mm-hmm.
things, 'di ba? Everything is so flexible now. Clarice, do you feel na parang you have more creativity in terms of designing right now, or parang did it open more opportunities for you to be to infuse innovations and technologies when it comes to your design?
Actually, with the pandemic talaga,
Mm-hmm.
it's really been a challenge. Pero yun nga, as architects, we're expected to create new solutions, and with those
Mm-hmm.
solutions are also new opportunities, 'di ba? To create a new design, a new whole design different from ano na yung nakasanayan natin. And
Mm-hmm.
syempre we have to, as we all said kanina, adapt not just with how we live, pero how we also design those, projects that we make for our clients. Another thing I think is the most challenging part na we are facing right now as architects. I think it's to think socially and collectively, kumbaga. Parang, kasi architecture is, sometimes kasi people see architecture as something that is individual to us, like
Mm-hmm.
for the clients lang. We design it for the clients. But I think the challenge for us architects is to, learn how to work together with other architects to create solutions. And our designs kasi are not just for our clients. We should see it as something na will impact other people na kunwari in the community or in the
Mm-hmm.
surrounding environment. So, ayun, since it's pandemic, mas naging ano yung challenge na yun for us.
And 'di ba, girls, I don't know, you probably agree with me. It really is a collaborative profession,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's You can never design or put up a building without collaborating with the other
True.
consultants, your
Yeah.
engineers, your interior
Mm-hmm.
designers. And I think
Mm-hmm.
this pandemic, given the challenges that we got from, communicating with each other,
Mm-hmm.
we were forced na para to really check and update. Kasi if we don't do collaborative works, kawawa yung client. And at the end of the
Correct.
day, you want to give the best service to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that we appreciate now. It's the collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And the three of you, it's amazing because you guys are all models. That's number one. Trish, you're an entrepreneur. Clarice,
Mm-hmm.
you used to be a beauty queen, no? And Jessy, you're an athlete. And then you're an architect. So you guys are wearing multiple hats, and I
Mm-hmm.
praise you for that. Um, do you see any semblance when it comes to your modeling career and being an entrepreneur, volleyball player, beauty queen, and with an architect? Meron bang same values yan for you guys? Trish, let's start with you.
Um, yeah, actually for me, there were a lot of things that I gained from the modeling industry that I could actually apply as a designer as
Mm-hmm.
well. Probably one of those things is being able to be in character, like to portray
Mm-hmm.
a character. Like for instance, in modeling, mapa runway man yan or editorial shoots, like you always have to be in character depending on the theme of the runway or depending on the theme of the shoot, right? So you have to portray it properly. And for me, if you're going to align it or compare it to our field, as a designer, you always have to be you always have to put your shoes in the client's you always have to put yourself in the client's shoes and also the users. Um, you always have to think of the client's needs, of the user
Mm-hmm.
satisfaction. So if you are always in character and if you always put yourself in the shoes of your client and of the users, that will contribute to a great design. So there.
Right. And I think you
Mm.
enjoy it, no? The
Yes.
combination of both roles. I think
Yeah.
it's more of, you don't see it as work. It's really more of,
Mm.
I can play a character as an
Correct.
architect at the same time as a model, no?
Yeah, and
What
also
about you?
discipline as
Mhm.
well.
Exactly. I think if
Yeah.
there's one common thing that you guys all have, it's the discipline and being
Mm-hmm.
able to manage your time. Diba? I mean, if there's one thing also about being an architect, you really have to manage your time because of all the deadlines, the
Mm.
milestones that we
Mm-mm.
have to achieve, the different phases, of the drawing.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I'm sure magaling kayo sa time management. Clarice, what about you? Being a model, beauty queen, and architect.
Ako naman very different, no? My takeaway kasi in being a former candidate naman,
Oh,
it's parang knowing that everyone has a voice. No,
okay.
parang regardless of from where you are or who you are, we have a voice. So how do I connect it to architecture? So as architects naman, we can use that voice to promote kung ano man yung advocacy natin or what we want the environment to become. Kunwari sa mga urban settings or even in the private, kunwari mga residentials, syempre we
Mhm.
wanna have our clients experience things na only we could provide them.
Clarice, akala ko sasabihin mo rin parang ang similarity sila kapag sa pageant, 'di ba? May Q&A, dapat mabilis ka sumagot. Sa architecture,
Pwede
dapat
rin.
mabilis ka rin
Pwede
mag-defend.
rin yun. Pag mga
Dapat,
client presentations.
'di ba? Kapag nangontra si client, ikaw agad meron ka agad na
Oo,
sagot or parang
kailangan
pag
mabilis
may
agad.
tanong sila on the spot, sir, tama talaga yung door ko diyan.
True.
Dan siya talaga dapat nakalagay, right? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's one good value that you can also get
Mm-mm.
from that.
Ano yan, working under pressure or thinking under pressure.
Exactly. That's right. And Jessy, ikaw naman, you're an athlete, a volleyball player. I wanna see, ano bang similarities nito bilang
I
arkitekto?
think yung
Sumaspike ka ba dyan?
similarities,
Sumaserve? Ganyan. Oh.
I think yung similarities na nag-gain ko from experience from being an athlete would definitely be the discipline, like
Mhm.
like you mentioned ni Trish,
Mm.
patience and time management. Kasi, yun nga, like you have like this, yun nga, marami kang gina-juggle sa plate mo. So, I
Mm.
apply it on my architecture career to have a better workflow on my projects.
And Jessy, because it's a
Ay,
very
yun
competitive
na yun.
sport.
Kasi wala naman eh.
And it's
Yeah,
a
oo.
competitive
So, talaga
sport
yung
siya.
time
So I'm
management lang
sure,
talaga.
oo, and I'm sure yung
Mm-mm.
competitiveness mo sa design mo, naa-apply mo doon. 'Di ba? Parang
Yeah,
Mm.
and I
ayaw mo
think yun pala
patalo.
sa pakikisama, yung pakikisama mo
Mm.
with the
Mm.
team. And when you have a collaborative project, parang kailangan you have to know how to work with others. Na wala
Right.
kang inaapakan, but at the same time, you get to hear their other opinions, and then you get to like have a team, parang team bond, para team
Yes.
connection to come up
Mm.
with a
Mm-mm.
good design.
Because
Yeah.
it's so collaborative, sumisigaw ka rin, mine, yours. Your design, mine. Hindi, pero tama yun, di ba? Makukuha mo kasi yung value na yun in that sport.
Mm.
Now, Trish, Jessy, you guys are entrepreneurs and you have
Mm.
this business ventures. Can you please share with us these businesses that you have? Trish.
Okay. So backstory lang of how we started. So
Mhm.
actually, I have this business venture which we started last 2020 with my best
Mhm.
friend Clar. She's actually an architect as well. So
Mhm.
what we ventured into is a coffee business. So the
Okay.
name is Parched 43.
Okay.
Actually, we did everything like from brewing to bottling to branding. As in, like, two-man team talaga kami doon. And we focused mainly on doing homemade cold brew lattes and other beverages as well. And mainly our business is online. So we do the
Mhm.
transactions online and then we do the deliveries from time to time. But we also consigned with a good number of Korean marts here in Angeles. So like we supplied our cold brew bottles like every week for them. But
Wow.
a few months ago, we actually took a business break due to personal health issues. Kasi
Mhm.
actually we got COVID, tapos I transferred to a different workplace.
Mhm.
So it was hard aligning our schedules. That's why we decided to have a business break first. But
Mhm.
hopefully that business will be restarted by next year. Hopefully,
Okay.
because I really love coffee. That's one of the reasons why I started this business. Eh. So for me, kasi if you want to start a business, you should be passionate about that business as well.
Mhm.
Because the only way you're gonna prosper in that business is if you put your heart into it. So
Exactly. And
hopefully I could,
dedication, 'di ba?
yes, correct,
Mhm.
yeah. So hopefully, we could reopen by next year, and hopefully we could develop it into something bigger.
Well, that's a good business, and I won't be
Yeah.
surprised. I'm not surprised that you love coffee kasi bihira
As
tayong
architect.
makakilala ng architect
Correct.
na hindi mahilig sa coffee because of the
That's
sleepless nights,
right.
right? And that's
Yes.
like one of the perfect business that an
Mm.
architect can get into. And I hope
Yeah.
you guys can open that because operations pa lang, Trish, right? Operations
Mm.
and the logistics of putting up a business is so critical and
Yes.
trabaho talaga.
True.
Right? And kailangan mong tutukan yan. Jessie, what about you?
Mm.
So, yung akin naman, it's a business that me and my sister-in-law created. So, it's Shibui Home Studio. It's basically
Mm-hmm.
home decors. They are handpicked objects imported. And it's created into various concepts. So, same with other realizations during the pandemic. We wanted kasi to bring in pieces that will give life a touch of art. So, kasi mahilig rin ako sa
Mm-hmm.
decors and, making spaces beautiful. So, we wanted to create concepts nga to people so that they can have access nga to beautiful and aesthetic pieces. So, yun. And then
Mm-hmm.
another one is a furniture brand that we're coming up pa lang. So, it's a furniture brand, Piero Furniture Studio. So,
Mm-hmm.
I teamed up with two of my friends. So, one is an interior designer. So, we made the dream of accessible modern luxuries a tangible reality. So, we're gonna import furniture then here in the Philippines. So, yeah. So, very
Jessie, how
related
are
then
you
to
able
architecture.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. It's related to that. But how are you
Mm.
able to manage your time? Because it's very active now. What you're doing with
Mm.
Trish, kasi they put it on hold. But
Yeah.
the pipeline is there.
Mm-hmm.
They're planning to open it hopefully next year. So at least she
Mm.
has more room to focus or concentrate on her career. And then later on,
Mm.
she would
Yeah.
move to that also. But Jessie, yours
Correct.
is very active. So how do you juggle that?
Well, for me
Not
talaga,
that you're a volleyball player, so
cliche.
magaling ka mag-ano ng ball. Pero I mean, how do you do that?
Well, yun nga, na-mention nyo na rin talaga, it's time management talaga. Kasi if you
Mm.
know
Mhm.
your priorities, madali na lang siya eh. When you know your priorities, you get a grip of what to focus on, what to spend
Mhm.
less time with, and what to work on.
Mhm.
So for me, I really value time. So kapag hindi importante, hindi ako nagbibigay ng oras doon. And then
Yeah.
yun, dinidivide ko yung time ko lahat nakalista, lahat may schedule,
Mhm.
lahat important dapat yung magagawa ko sa isang araw. So that's how I manage my time.
That's true. I mean, you guys are so career driven. Na I have
Mm.
to ask this, may time pa ba kayo sa relationships? Are you guys single? Do you have time for love life? Meron ba? Minsan
Silang
yung iba
dalawa.
nakasmile. Si Jessie, okay, mukhang single.
Nanuro.
Clarice, how do you guys juggle that? Are you guys in the same profession? If you guys have partners, ganyan? Some tips or advices? Or advice pala. Si
Well,
Clarice
ako
mukhang may
na,
sasabihin
ako.
ah.
Hindi, kasi ako now, we are in a long distance relationship. So,
Okay.
he's a chef actually. He's not an
Mhm.
architect.
Mm.
Pero, we've been together for almost 4 years. So, wala namang
Okay.
problem with different professions.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I think it's really how you work with each other as partners, diba?
Yeah.
Regardless
Mm.
of
Right.
what you do and where you are in your life. So, pero ayun, LDR kami, so marami naman akong time.
Parang halos lahat naman ng tao ngayon kahit nasa Philippines LDR because of the
Well, sa
lockdown eh.
bagay,
So
oo nga.
so 'di ba? At least it worked for you. And that's true. Different professions because we've had guests in our previous episodes wherein we asked about the dynamics naman when they're both architects or one
Mm.
is an engineer. Same AEC industry. How's the dynamics at home? Are they able to bring home work or nagka-clash ba sila sa design? And I think when you have a different a partner with a different profession, it also adds to the alam mo yun, exchange of
Break.
ideas. A
Mm.
break from
Break
from the
from the
career,
work.
'di ba? That's right.
Mm.
Trish, ikaw, tinuro ka ni
Um,
Jessie.
ako naman,
Meron
like,
yan eh.
yeah, I'm in a very happy relationship right
Oh,
now.
that's
So,
good.
yeah, we've been together for almost 2 years. Austin's
Mm-hmm.
actually watching right now.
Oh,
baliktad naman kami ni Ai. So, ako naman, it's actually my first time to be with someone in the same field.
okay.
So,
He's
yeah,
also an
so we're in,
architect or
yeah,
engineer?
parehas kami nasa architecture field.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so, actually before, I used to think na it's gonna be boring if parehas kayong
Yeah.
architect.
Yeah.
But actually, being with someone in the same field helped me redefine my long-term goals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun na you have someone to talk about something that you both understand.
Right.
'Di ba? Like you can have a lot of discussions, pero minsan naging arguments na siya. But
Oo. Oo.
healthy or substantial arguments naman. And being with someone in the same profession, for me, it's not only beneficial, but it's also encouraging as well. And kahit na very challenging din, it's very inspiring at the same time. Although for
I'm
me, the
sure.
downside is, yeah, the downside lang when you're with someone in the same profession. Like, for instance, me and my boyfriend, like we work in a certain project na
Mm-hmm.
together kami nag-work doon. So sometimes, after work, parang work pa rin, you can't help but talk about work as
Yes.
well, 'di ba?
Yes.
Like sometimes you get to insert things about work, so you can't help it. Pero it's mostly fun talaga. Mostly
And
fun, encouraging.
Trish, are you of the same style when it comes to design? I'm curious.
Well, ako naman kasi I'm very well immersed sa design side of architecture, while my
Okay.
boyfriend naman, he's well versed in construction and also management.
Okay. Parang the technical
So,
aspect rin.
yes, the
Oo.
technical aspect. So
Mm.
sometimes pag design part, parang I'm the one who gets to decide dun sa design. So he just makes
Right.
comments like, how's that gonna work? Do you think that's good enough? Parang ganon.
Mhm.
So
And I
yun
think
po.
that's a good combination, 'di ba? Parang
Yes, right.
sometimes kasi when you're both into the design
Mm,
aspect, nandyan yung
yeah,
clashes. But I'm not
correct,
saying
yes.
that's a bad
Mm,
thing, no.
yeah.
It's still an like you criticize each other's design, that's fine
Mm,
because you want to
yes.
be better at something. But I think the combination, one is in the concept design part, and
Mm,
then the other one yung gagawa na ng design development, yung contract
yes. And
documents,
sometimes for me naman,
Sino siya
construction.
yung technical?
yeah. Actually,
Sila lang sa
sometimes it's
working
also
drawings.
Oo.
healthy
Oo,
that
sila
we
sa working
disagree.
drawing, si Trish sa client at saka sa concept.
Yeah, sa presentations.
Oh, sa presentation, 'di ba? So
Mm.
saktong-sakto yung alignment ninyo.
Yeah, like
And
I
that's
was saying
why
a while ago then,
mm,
sometimes it's also healthy if you disagree on things. Like, for example, sa
exactly.
design, di ba? Kasi parang, um, akala mo minsan dahil same kayong architects, like, same na kayo ng mga knowledge or information na alam. But, little did you know that, you have a lot to learn from your partner as well.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
nice to see a different perspective rin and somebody that you're very
Correct.
comfortable talking to, 'di ba? Kasi yung iba naman
Yeah.
parang metro
Yeah.
guarded ka. Ito at least
Yes.
parang you're very comfortable to speak
Mm-hmm.
out at the same time you're very open to listening. Si
Yeah,
Jessy
correct.
naman, I think si Jessy is single,
Ako,
ganyan. Oh.
yes. For me naman, parang regardless of any profession, whether you're in the same field or different field. Kasi for me, for me, the most
Mm.
important factor sa partner, I mean, looking for a partner, is someone who complements your lifestyle. Eh. Kasi, like me, I'm really
Mm-hmm.
a busy person. I have a lot of things to juggle. So, it would only be beneficial to me if the person I would be in a relationship with
Mhm.
is understanding, somebody who understands my schedule, would support me
Right.
with any of my ventures. So, especially at this time, diba, our mental health really
Yeah.
matters, whether you're in a relationship
Yes.
or
Mm-hmm.
not. So, yun
Mm-hmm.
lang. Yun lang yung
And
factor for me.
Jessie, mahirap ba mag-date during this time? Kasi you can't really go out eh. Medyo, no? Challenging din.
Actually, ngayon kasi, I'm not looking for any partner
Oh,
because I just
ayan.
came from a
Okay.
relationship. So,
On
right
air.
now, I'm focusing more
Mm.
on myself. Yan.
Mm-hmm.
Self-love.
Well, that's true. Self-love,
Yeah.
self-love, gusto natin yan. And I mean,
Yes.
self-love, career, and kung gusto nyo man
Yes.
makasama si Jessie, you have to be as busy as her or you have to understand. She will juggle modeling, her volleyball career, furniture, and being an
Business.
architect. So good luck sa
Yes.
future makaka-date mo dyan.
Boyfriend.
'Di ba? So Okay, this is so interesting. This is so enlightening also. Ang gusto kong malaman, girls, is what is your most recent accomplishment that you are super proud of? Ang dami nyo nang nagagawa. And your whether it's in modeling or you're entrepreneur or being a beauty queen or being an architect, what is the most recent accomplishment that you're most proud of? Let's start with Clarice.
I think yung I was able to get my own place. Yun lang.
Oh,
I moved
okay.
out in the midst of pandemic ha. I was able
Mhm.
to move out of my parents' house and get my own space. Kasi nga, nag-focus na ako dun sa practice ko. Before kasi, I used to work with my dad. We do construction. And so, meron kaming mga fit-outs and ground-up constructions. But then, I felt like, parang mas gusto kong design na lang muna.
Mhm.
So, inisip ko, like, what if I move out of the house to focus on my career? So, yun nga, ginawa ko. And
And
actually, it's really, parang nakakaano ng self siya talaga. Kasi nga, kaya mo nang anhin yung sarili mo na hindi ka umaasa. I mean, it's not that it's bad, diba, to na umasa pa rin sa parents. Pero being independent kasi parang brings self-fulfillment.
yes, exactly. And I mean, being free, not that I'm saying you're not free when you were living with your parents, right? But just the freedom and the independence. Kasi ang dami mong matututunan about yourself. And at the same time,
Yung
it will really help you grow, right?
True.
And see, how am I going to do this now that I'm on my own? And Clarice, you gave us some of the pictures also of the current projects that you're working on, right? We'll be flashing it on screen, and maybe you can mention that to us.
I think kay
There.
Jessey ba yan?
Sa
Or
akin yan.
Trish?
O, kanino to? Mali, hindi kami
That's
nag-coordinate ng
mine.
maayos. Kanino to? Kay
That's
Jessey yun.
mine.
Okay, sige, sandali. Sandali, ayusin natin yung program. Okay. After that, ipapakita natin later ha, na on the spot tuloy ako kakatanong ng mga questions sa kanila. With Jessey naman, Jessey, what are your other accomplishments?
I would say it's me establishing my freelance career because before I was working with the firm. So, before, yung problem ko was, I mean, nag-start ako mag-freelance simulang nag-start yung pandemic. So, it was, akala ko it's gonna be bad kasi syempre pandemic and you have a lot of limitations. But I'm really happy because I was still able to acquire a lot of projects and I was able to actually establish it na because I've been getting a lot of projects recently. Ayun.
That's right.
That's
And
it for me.
enter Q. Papakita natin yung projects mo.
Yan na, ako na
Okay.
talaga to.
Ikaw na siya na talaga. Gosh. This is why when it's live, wala kang magagawa. Okay, now let's show on screen the project. Ayan, the pink room.
Yan, so
Can you tell us more about this, Jessey?
yeah, so this one's a fit-out project with Riva Kennery's bedroom and walk-in closet. So she wanted like a lot of pink, but I suggested na since she wanted din pala to be kind of mature na. So ang pinili ko sa kanya na design was more of like there are a lot of curves, but at the same time hindi na masyadong pink. So there's muted colors to complement the pink tones. Ayun, that's
And
it.
maganda yung no? It's not, kasi sometimes when you use pink, some
There.
people are scared na parang it's too overpowering, masyadong girly,
Yes.
masyadong feminine. But here, it was just the right amount of pink. Diba?
Pink. Yes.
And what was the
Yes. So
concept?
this
What
one's
was
a
the main
walk-in closet
inspiration?
naman.
Yes.
Yung main inspiration for the room itself, mga geometric forms. Kasi she wanted, parang before I pitched sa kanya, if you wanted to be still girly but mature, nagsuggest ako sa kanya ng mga, yun nga, curves and geometric forms. So, yun yung mga nagustuhan niya. Kaya, that's how I came up with the idea. And then,
Right.
yun nga, so for
And
the walk-in, so, yeah. Yes.
Go ahead.
So walk-in closet naman, she wanted kasi two types for her. So she wanted the girly side, and then the second floor would be for her hype beast material. So if you look at the photos, the
Yeah,
first floor
there you go.
is yan cream, and it's just a girly type of walk-in closet. And then coming up, so you see that steel staircase. Coming up,
Mm-hmm.
it's the transition between the hype beast floor. So she wants a lot of hype beast material, hype beast designer bags and all, and shoes. So the concept was the off-white showroom. If you look at the
Mm-hmm.
next photos, then the palette is
Okay.
from the showrooms of white. Baka wala
Mm-hmm.
wala diyan. But yeah,
Pero
yun yung
the
mga
walk-in
concept
closet
niya.
is 2 floors. Is that right? Kasi
Yes,
there may
yes, two
stairs.
floors.
Okay
Mm.
din yung ganun eh, no? Minsan wala kang ang walk-in closet. Ito, 2 floors of
Yun
walk-in
na nga.
closet. I mean, the
Diba?
stairs,
Actually,
parang nakaka-offend naman minsan sa mga walang walk-in closet. Ito, two
two
floors.
closet.
But that's true because
Yes.
I think that's one challenge and nice space to design rin, diba? Like a two-story
Mm.
walk-in closet. What do you
Mm.
do?
Yes.
How do you become creative, diba? And at the same time, use the color pink and make it mature. So, parang you don't want it to be super girly. And the technique there
Yes.
is probably make it subdued a little bit, 'di ba?
Yes.
And then just splash some colors of it and then have like a nude color talaga to
Yeah, balancing
apply
it
it with.
with other, yeah, it's important that you have a contrast, especially with colors.
Exactly.
So if you have that
Mm.
pink, at least partner it with gray or anything na
Yeah.
magabalance sa very bright na pink, diba?
In-introduce mo na ba
Mm.
dito, Jessie, yung furniture business mo sa kanya? Wala pa.
Not yet, no. Kasi
O,
we're
pag
still in
ano,
the
pag
works of it eh.
na-construct natin, parang bagay itong furniture na to,
Yung
di ba?
version,
para yun yung other marketing mo. That's right. So thanks so
direct
much
na.
for sharing that project. Trish, what are your accomplishments recently?
Ako naman, on the contrary to Ais and Jessie's
Mm,
accomplishments, for me, one of my most recent accomplishments is transferring to a different workplace.
okay.
Dun sa previous job ko kasi, parang 2.5 years ata ako nagstay dun sa previous job ko. So, actually, after that job, parang what I wanted was to do freelance work already, like to focus on my freelance career. But I decided to um, transfer it to a different workplace na different environment naman. So,
Mm,
actually, I'm very proud of that kasi one of the reasons why I decided to leave my previous workplace was for my mental health also. So I guess lahat naman tayo nakaka-relate na,
yes.
especially in this time, parang we have to prioritize our mental health. So whatever is toxic for you, you have to leave or let go, right? So
True.
Yes.
kahit na parang naging
Agree.
right? Parang, you know what, kahit na medyo there was a bit of toxicity in my previous job, uh it was also my comfort zone. And
Mm,
I'm proud of myself na I decided to get out of that comfort zone and venture
yes.
into something I did not expect to um enter this year. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And the
Mm,
the courage for you to take that leap of faith then, di ba parang, kasi
mm,
you're very comfortable already with your previous job, but then this
yeah.
is a decision, like it's a very critical decision for you also, and it's
Mm,
something new. So parang it's both exciting and at the same time you're kind of scared rin na parang, am I making the
yes,
right decision? So
correct.
talagang you just jumped into it na parang bala na, I can work this out, 'di ba?
Yes,
And that's
for
a
me
big
naman,
accomplishment.
yeah, you just really have to take calculated risks in life.
Exactly.
Kasi that's the only way you're gonna learn eh. Mm,
Exactly. And if it's all what if, nothing will happen, right? Parang
yeah.
what if I don't leave? What if I go to
Mm-mm.
this place and there's no sense of accomplishment and fulfillment in that kind of
Mm,
mindset. And that's true.
yes.
Thanks for sharing that. And you also have some projects that you want to show
Yeah.
to us? Yes. There,
Yeah,
tama
I
naman siguro
also
'yan, 'di ba? Oh, 'di ba? Tama.
wait, wala akong nakikita sa screen.
It's the
Okay.
house. It's the
Out there.
perspective, the exterior. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, that house, I just finished designing that residential project. So it's
Mm.
actually a residential project in Apalit, Pampanga. And
Okay.
that design is for a family who actually lives in Canada. So
Mhm.
um, husband and wife who are still living in Canada, pero probably by next year, they're going to settle here in the Philippines. So kaya yung
Okay.
design niya, it's more of parang Filipino architecture with a touch of contemporary. Because of
Mhm.
course, parang they've lived long enough in Canada. So parang
Mhm.
they miss the Philippines. So they wanted to incorporate parang local or native details in the design. So that's the design I came up with.
It's nice and it looks ano no, it looks really a
Hmm.
contemporary Filipino design.
Yes, they're very particular with the details.
And what do you call this? Trish, I have to ask this to you.
Hmm.
For you, what is a Filipino design? What is Filipino architecture? How are you
Actually,
able to come up with that design thinking that
hmm
okay, I really want to design something Filipino?
hmm actually, that topic na parang ever since people ask what's Filipino architecture, kasi
Yes.
unlike architecture in different countries, parang very solidified or concrete yung mga elements na oh when you see this it's like Spanish architecture or French, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Mm-mm.
parang for me when I did this it's as simple as parang using local products or
Mhm.
finishes or materials that are locally available, and
Right.
also inserting like Filipino elements that is found in um, like our ancestral architecture.
Mhm.
Not only then sa materials, also in the way that the spaces are planned.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Parang how they planned let's say before yung mga bahay na bato and then the bahay
correct.
kubo and how
Yeah,
these spaces are related to each other, 'di ba?
yes,
And you
correct.
infuse in the values, the Filipino values that we know like
Filipino values.
one is we're very hospitable
Mm,
and lagi
yeah,
tayong salo-salo kumain. So, I mean,
correct.
the design when it comes to the living room and the dining room,
Mm,
you'd see that, 'di ba? With the
yeah,
Filipino architecture design. And you still have one more project to show
yes.
us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one naman is yeah, we can show it on screen. There you go. This is very
Is it
contemporary.
shown on screen already?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, there. All right. So actually, that project, kakatapos lang nung CD stage of that project. So it's a
Mm.
mixed-use building in San Fernando,
Mm.
Pampanga. It's already ongoing sa construction, like structural works na as of now.
Mhm.
And for that naman, yung client, they own a medical supplies and equipment warehouse. So
Mhm.
marami silang suppliers na they have to have their own place where to store those. So actually right now meron silang own place na warehouse pero parang makeshift lang. So what they
Mhm.
wanted was to have their own space na strategical yung placement ng spaces. Like of course it's a warehouse, merong flow yan like yung dispatch,
Yes.
when the stocks arrive, 'di ba? So
Yes.
that's how we design the space na parang tailor fit siya to be a warehouse talaga. And at the same time, it's going to be their main office. And
Mhm.
that's why it's a mixed use building kasi hopefully maybe in the near future, they want to incorporate retail spaces as well to maximize the use of the lot.
Right.
And
And I think
yeah,
yun yung flexible siya, no? The design is
yes,
flexible for that.
correct. And also for that project, since it's a warehouse, parang the client doesn't want naman it to look like a warehouse. 'Di ba?
Yeah, I
Usually
was
when you
gonna
see
say.
warehouse, it's
Mm-mm.
parang wala naman talaga siyang proper design. But for
Yes.
this one, parang they don't want it to be striking, pero at the same time they
Mm-hmm.
want it to be visually pleasing kahit na warehouse lang siya.
You wouldn't even think
So,
that it's a warehouse.
correct,
Diba?
yes.
Parang
Mm,
that's I think that's one of your concept also that we'll come up
yeah.
with a warehouse, but you wouldn't even think that it's a warehouse.
Yeah,
And at the
that's
same time,
right.
it's already ready for expansion or yun nga what we
Mm,
were talking about earlier, 'di ba? Yung transitional spaces na
yes,
it can transform from this to an actual retail space. And I think
correct. And as
that's one of the mindset that's important. Yes, Trish.
yeah, and for me as architects kasi, you also have to put yourself din, 'di ba, sa choose na users mo.
Yes.
Like for instance, the people who are going to use this warehouse, like yung mga workers, ganyan, or the other employees, you
Mhm.
want to give them a space na very conducive yung working environment.
Yes.
'Di ba? Like for example, you work in a simple warehouse or yung parang warehouse lang na not really planned or designed, parang
Mhm.
hindi ka masyadong gaganahan mag-work, right? But
Yes.
if your space is well planned, well designed, like it's pleasing not only visually, pero yung like
Mhm.
inner vibe that it gives, 'di ba? Parang you're gonna be inspired and motivated to work.
And you're designing it not just for the company or the brand,
Yeah.
you're really designing the space for the people who are going to be using it, which
Yes,
are the
yes, correct.
employees, diba? So
Yeah.
I think that's one value that we are more what do you call this, more aware now and more conscious
Mm.
as designers,
Yeah.
kasi before, like, sige, let's just plan this space, sige, let's just put mga walls and like make
Correct.
it
Basta
look
maganda, okay
appealing
na.
outside, okay na. Pero now we understand that the workflow and the
Mm.
mindset and the health, the comfort level of the end users, which are the
Mm.
employees, are most important. Kasi para
Correct.
naman talaga sa kanila yon. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was such a good project, and I really wouldn't think that it's a warehouse. Now,
Thank you.
back to you, Clarice. I'm okay with your projects. I'm ready to show them on screen.
Ready
Okay,
na.
here we go. Ready na. There you go.
This one is sa Batangas to eh. My
Mm-hmm.
clients are actually my friends.
Mm-hmm.
They recently developed a farmland that's 3 hectares.
Mm-hmm.
So, meron na silang original na, if you can see dun sa left side kung nasan yung cars, meron na dong warehouse and basta a small parang kubo. And they
Mm-hmm.
initially built that to keep all the stuff they need for the farm. So yung bahay na lang talaga yung inaantay. So this is a side-by-side bungalow. For the left house, yung parents nila. Then sa right, yung sila. They're newlyweds kasi. So
Mm-hmm.
they opted for a bungalow type of house lang since they don't have any kids yet. And I
Mm-hmm.
think they don't plan on having lots of kids din eh. So, ayun, actually, they very easy to deal with sila kasi nga they already know what they wanted. So, ang
The
ginawa
perfect
nila,
client.
oo, sobra. Ang ginawa nila, they built the design using Sims. So,
Oh, okay.
oo, sobrang
Interesting.
helpful. Interesting talaga. Tapos, they already knew how big they want the rooms to be, kung ano yung layout. So, parang ako, I just had to actualize what they had in mind.
Okay. And
Mm.
I think it's a creative way of explaining your peg, which is
Mm,
using
mm.
Sims. And I wonder kung
Mm.
anong cheat code. Ginamit nila siguro yung cheat code doon, no? Para talaga ma-express nila yung
Actually,
house.
hirap
Oh,
daw sila kasi 'di ba sa Sims parang may blocks. So di
yeah.
nila alam yung tamang sizes. That's when I had to come and explain to them kung ano talaga yung tamang sizes for the rooms. Pero yun nga, very easy to deal with yung clients kasi nga unang-una they're my friends and yun nga
Mhm.
second of all, they already knew what they wanted.
Exactly. And like I said kanina, perfect clients. I'm not saying hindi perfect yung hindi super perfect yung iba, no, but there's when the client knows already what they want kasi, it's better to execute it. Mahirap kasi, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, girls. Kapag tinanong mo yung client and you ask them, what do you guys want? What's your idea? And then they say, ikaw ang bahala.
Tapos
Parang,
di
oh
nila
my
alam,
gosh, how
oo
do we
nga.
do it? 'Di ba?
Tapos pag
Eh,
nag-present ka, ayaw, hindi
oo.
approved.
A house is very intimate. It's so customized. So you need to know the lifestyle of the clients. And sometimes when they don't know what to do, syempre, as consultants, you'll really help them out. And you try to, for them to make kwento, what's their lifestyle, what
Yeah,
do they
oo.
want, and then perform it dun sa design. And you have another
Actually,
house. Go
this one
ahead,
naman
Therese. Continue.
is in Muntinlupa. This is
Mm-hmm.
for a family of 3. So they have a son and
Mm-hmm.
my client here is a foreigner eh. He's a retired
Okay.
military. So, actually, pero matagal na siya here in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted their own house na nga as retirement. And ayaw daw nila ng modern. So, they wanted the Spanish or Mediterranean
Yes.
look. Kaya medyo ganun actually yung look. Pero that render is outdated na eh. Nasa schematic design pa yan eh.
Ako,
Mali
hindi
pala yung
pala
nabigay ko
updated.
na
Hindi pala
photos.
updated yung perspective namin. Rev 1
Oo.
yung, hindi Rev 1 yung nakuha namin
Oh, hindi
file.
yung
Oo, hindi yung
final na to.
updated, hindi yung final, super final render na to.
Final
Hindi yun.
siguro.
Oh my God, it's so
Although,
funny. Ginagawa niyo rin yun.
totoo. Ito na talaga, ganun.
Oo. Okay. You were saying
Pero,
something, Clarice?
yeah, yung render naman, it's not really super far from the most recent design. We added lang mga certain elements that would make it really look like Spanish siya. So, and actually, the challenge in this lot is sloping siya. Sobrang sloping niya. Like, from yung nasa gate is let's say, 0 elevation siya. Then the backmost part of the lot, nasa 4 meters na yung inangat.
Okay.
And with that pa, yung subdivision kasi is a high-end area. So, there's a non-buildable area, which is 1/3 of the lot.
Wow.
Tapos, the client, sobrang nag-argue yung client kasi why would I buy this lot nga daw if hindi ko siya ma-maximize? So what I did with the design is split level yung mga rooms and floors. Hindi lang halata kasi nga
Hindi lang
that's what's
halata. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Kasi
may
weird
basement
naman,
siya.
usually naman ng split type, hindi mo naman ipapahalata yan sa labas eh, di ba?
True. So
it
yun
has a
yung
basement.
challenge talaga is split level siya and we're dealing with different slopes and may swimming pool pa which is yung syempre yung utilities you have to plan it carefully lalo na siya split level.
And it makes it more exciting kapag may slope. To be honest, like yes, we wish that it's flat para it's easier for us to deal with. But when there's a slope, it gives you the opportunity to play around the views and the different levels of the house. At the same time, yung design mo sa labas, it won't look so flat and parang dull. 'Di ba? So maganda rin yung may slope. Jessey, nahanap na namin yung additional photos. Babalikan lang namin because we wanna go back to the other projects. We'll flash it on screen. Ayaw natin bitinan yon. There you go.
Okay.
This is your other project.
This is a different project. This one is bale, she bought the house na and she wanted the interior to be redesigned. So yung concept nito was Moroccan, yung mga Moroccan and even Greece na mga villas. So as you can see, these are concrete finishes. These ones are concrete finishes, yeah. So they are white concrete finishes, and then there are the built-ins are all white semi-gloss finish. So like what I said before, I always wanted contrast with materials. So yung contrast ng textured and then the smooth finish, yun yung in-apply ko with this. And then there's a contrast between the concrete and the wood. So yung balance lang ng mga materials, that's what I focused on in this interior project. And also, since it's a very minimalist very minimalist design, I really focus nga dun sa materials na gagamitin dun sa project.
Yeah. Right. And we can see that, no? Renders pa lang, you already see the different textures. And at the same time, those minimal elements that inspires you from that Mediterranean, si Moroccan, no?
Yeah.
Parang ganong architecture. You see that in those small details na parang it's not so in your face, no? But at the same time, it makes it look so contemporary pa rin. I think that's really the art of designing something subtle but explaining the entire concept of it. Okay, now before I let you guys go, I just wanna ask you, para tong fast talk, parang ganon. And we'll do a round of questions. We'll start with Trish, and then Clarice, and then Jessey. First thing that pops in your mind, okay? Hindi to building code, hindi to design. Wala, nothing that like, anong height ng door, mga ganon, hindi ganon. Okay. So let's start with this. If you could trade lives with a known architect or builder or designer, who would it be? Trish.
Bougie or Royal Pineda.
Okay, Clarice.
Well, I think she's dead na, pero Zaha Hadid.
Fine, Jessy.
Zadid. I think for me, it's Vincent Van Dersen.
Okay, very interesting answers. Okay, where do you get most of the decorations for your home? Trish.
Mostly online, or actually, I love shopping at surplus shops. Yung mga Korean or
Okay,
Japanese surplus furniture.
right, right. Clarice?
Online lang din, Instagram and Shopee actually. Ang daming cheap finds talaga.
May
Mhm.
fine pieces to, no? Jessy?
Mm.
Same, online pages. The syempre, love your own. So, Shibuya Hooks.
Oo nga pala. Bakit ko ba
Promote.
tinanong pa to? Dapat
Nag-promote.
may brand, okay? Okay, what's your worst habit? Trish?
Overthinking the future.
Wow, okay. Clarice?
Parang same.
Oh,
Sobrang,
Jessie.
sometimes
Same
nagsasalk
din.
eh.
Overthinker? O, mga overthinker kami. Bakit ba?
Same.
Pakialam nyo ba? Alam mo bakit? Ganun talaga
Can
kapag
relate.
architect. Lahat iniisip. So,
Oo.
overthinkers.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have super sensitive taste buds or super sensitive hearing? Trish?
Super sensitive taste buds.
Clarice?
Hearing.
Jessie?
Hearing.
Okay.
Hearing.
If you were given a chance, eto, meron to ngayon, would you ever enter Big Brother house or PBB? Trish?
No.
Clarice?
No din.
No, lahat, no. Gusto natin, privacy is, life.
Issue lang yun.
Privacy. Yeah.
Yung issue lang. Okay.
For issues.
What's the hardest you've ever worked? Trish?
I could say parang multitasking my day job.
Yeah.
Day job. Uh-huh.
I could say multitasking my day job, my business, and architectural sideline all within 24 hours.
Wow. And one day, no? I'm sure
Yeah, in one
nagsabay-sabay
day.
na yan once.
Yes,
Clarice,
at one
you?
point.
Ako, papasok din yung multitasking, but like, kasi nga I've handled construction management yung mga na-build ko na. So, yung mga attention to details and yung time management and yun nga, project management, sobrang hirap talaga niya.
That's right. Not everybody can do project management, Malaking, it's a skill. Jessie?
Ang hirap.
When I was working in a firm, so day job, and then sa gabi training, and then sa mas gabi pa yung business. So, parang wala.
Sa gabi.
Wala na siyang time magpahinga.
Sa mas gabi.
May mas gabi pa.
Pwede yun. I like that. I will use that term. Sa gabi, mga 7 to 9 to 10. Yung mas gabi, 11 to 4 a.m. na siguro yun. No? Magandang term yan. Okay. What was the last song you sang to? Trish?
34 plus 35 by Ariana Grande.
Okay. Clarice?
Ako Lalisa. By Lisa.
Okay. Jessie?
Feel so good, hon.
Oh, yan. Okay. Talagang music is life rin kapag designers. What long shot have you taken that really paid off? Trish?
For me, shifting courses from communication arts to architecture.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. Clarice?
Ako yung joining Binibining Pilipinas. It was my first pageant kasi outside UST. So, sobrang gulat ako na nakapasok ako sa top finalists.
Oh, at saka, chika lang to sa'yo, tong question and answer na to. Parang talagang kayang-kaya mo sagutin tong mga
Di naman.
questions na to. Jessie?
Yung starting my freelance career.
Okay. Right. Talagang maganda yung mga sagot dito kapag when you're wearing multiple hats talaga, ang daming posibleng gawin talaga eh. Would you rather lose, grabe naman tong question na to, hindi ako yung gumawa nito. Would you rather lose your sight or your memories? Trish?
Sobrang hirap ng question.
Sino ba gumawa ng question na to?
Grabe. Pero if I would choose one,
Hugot.
siguro, I would rather lose my memory than my sight.
Okay. Clarice?
Ako, I'd rather lose my sight naman. Kasi nga, ang sakit naman nun pag wala ka ng memories.
Memory. Jessie?
Memories. Kasi parang
Memories ka
I
din.
could make new memories naman. So,
Iba talaga. Ako siguro baka memory din. Kasi right now, I am losing memory already.
Parang same
Sanay
lang.
na ako minsan. Same lang. Parang okay, sige, I'll lose memories na lang. Okay, last question. who is your dream local or maybe international client? Trish.
Um, for international, probably Gentle Monster, if you're familiar with the brand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm very fascinated kasi with their concept stores eh. So,
Right.
they're my dream client.
They are your dream client. So more of ano
Yeah.
talaga, interior and ano, or
Yes.
sana may sarili silang building, no? Parang
Yeah, actually,
yung
I think they've
mm,
done that. Yung parang one building, tas multiple floors, and then
yeah.
different concepts talaga. So, it's very interesting
Mhm.
for me.
Good. Clarice?
Ako parang wala namang certain like client, pero I think someone who would ask me to design a hospital. Sobrang
Mhm.
out of my comfort zone yun and feel ko parang sobrang hirap niya. So ayun.
Exactly. Lahat, I
Mm.
think mahirap talaga hospital to
Yeah.
anybody, no? It's very challenging. Gusto mo talaga nahihirapan ka. Good. Jessie?
I think for me is Aesop Skincare. I really like all
Oh.
their I like their
Mhm.
concept stores, all their stores. And even the brand identity I really like.
Mhm.
Mm.
Right? Again, very interesting answers, girls. Thank you so much. You guys were so open to sharing your thoughts, even your love life, and gave us some advice that are really, really helpful. I mean, it's a career that's very demanding, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's so fulfilling, especially if you are able to, express talaga your concept and the values behind it. And when you are able to collaborate with the other stakeholders, and when you get that feedback from the client na they're happy and that you were able
Mm.
to you were able to achieve whatever the meaning of success is to them. So thank you very much, Trish, Clarice, Jessie, for joining us here. Before we leave, how do we find you on your socials? What's your Instagram, Trish? Where can we
Um,
find you? Website ng ano nyo, ng firm or business?
mhm. Well, for now, you can follow me in my private social accounts, like in
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. You can just search Trish Molina. So I'm probably building my portfolio by next year. So for now, yun muna. Like follow me on my Instagram page.
All right, Clarice.
Instagram then my personal then is Clarice Villareal. Then for
Mm,
the portfolio and work yung AV architecture and design.
AV architect. Got it. Jesse.
You can follow me on Instagram as well at Jessey De Leon. I also have a YouTube account where I post some of my designs too. So it's Jessey De Leon Designs. I also have pala an Instagram portfolio. So it's at Design by Jessy. And I have, it's still in the works yung website ko. So it's
Mhm.
jessydeleon.com.
There you have it. We'll be posting that in the comment box section in on Facebook. Thank you. More power to you, girls, and
Thank you.
all the
Thank
best sa
you.
lahat ng ginagawa ninyo. Thank you so much. Now, parts, before we close, for sponsorship and collaborations, if you want to feature your projects or your company, please email boulderchannel@gmail.com. Tomorrow, Thursday, Jamie G features singer streamers on Grind at 7:30 p.m. and Nico Loco touches on male enhancement on Brief Encounter at 9 p.m. Only here at the Boulder Channel. Stay safe, everyone. Get an architect, get a contractor, get an engineer, get a designer, and get ahead of the curve. I'm Patch Kansana, and you've just watched Curve TV Season 3, your collaborative construction show. Bye, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.